At what point do you stop and ask yourself, it is finally time to leave my career? I've spent hundreds of hours studying US retirement. I've gone through the research, the data, the studies. So you don't have to. And today, I want to give you my honest advice for anyone thinking about working past 55. Because most people get this wrong. Not because they are not smart, but because nobody told them what I'm about to tell you. Let's get into it. Health over wealth. The first thing, and this is the most important thing in this entire video, is this: your health matters more than your wealth. Now, I know that sounds obvious, but hear me out. Because most people don't actually live by this. One of the most common mistake people make is working 5, 10 years past the point where they already had enough money to retire. They're enjoying the work, they feel healthy, and they think the window stays open forever. And then something happens: a cancer diagnosis, a heart attack, a stroke, and suddenly that window, those years we're saving for, is gone. Here's a number that should stop you cold. The World Health Organization tracks something called healthy average life expectancy. Basically, how many years you'll actually be healthy and active, not just life. For the average Americans, that number is just 66. 1 year old, the average American plan to retire at 56. That means on average you have just 13 months of health active life after retirement. 13 months. And if you keep working past 55 without a plan, you might be cutting even that down. Now, here's something even more alarming. Stanford Medical School researchers found that human aging is not linear. You don't just feel 1 year older every year. There are two periods where your body ages much more rapidly: your mind, your mid 40s, and your early 60s. Which means if you are sitting at 55 right now thinking, I feel great, I have another 10 good years, you need to be very careful with that assumption. Do you have enough money? Okay, so health is number one, but of course, you also need enough money. And here's where most people ask the wrong question. They ask, how much money do I have? But the real question is, what does my retirement actually look like and what will it cost? Because here's what Goldman Sachs found in a study on retirement spending. Most people assume they'll need to stop about 80% of their pre-retirement income once they retire. And because of that assumption, they keep working extra years to save that amount. But Goldman Sachs found something fascinating. Whether people spend 50%, 60%, 70%, or 80% of their pre-retirement income, their satisfaction in retirement was exactly the same. Let that sink in. You might be working 3, 5, even 7 extra years of your life. That isn't gonna make you any happier. Now let's talk about the 4% rule, because this is something every person planning retirement needs to understand. The 4% rule says you can withdraw 4% of your total saving every year in retirement. Adjust for inflation and your money will last. So if you have $1 million saved, you can take out 40,000 in year 1. Then increase that significantly each year for inflation. But here's the part nobody tells you. The 4% rule was actually designed for a 99.99% success rate. It's extremely conservative. Research across 115 rolling 30-year period found that in 1/3 of class, people ended up with 3 times more money than they started retirement. Half the time they ended up with double. What does that mean for you? You might already have enough to retire, and you're sitting at your desk not knowing it. Have a game plan. So you have thought about your health. You have looked at your finance. Now the third piece. Have a real game plan before you pull the trigger. Two things here that people almost always overlook. First, if you have a spouse or life partner, make sure you're both on the same page. Right now, you might spend 20-30 hours a week together, but in retirement, potentially 168 hours a week together. That's massive shift. Talk about what retirements look like for both of you, not just financially, but daily life, routines, travels, hobbies, space. Second, get clarity on your actual retirement budget, not a rough number in your head, in a real breakdown. What does good retirement look like? What does a great one look like? What does the budget for each? Because how much you spend in retirement drives almost every other decision. When you retire, how long your money lasts, what you can and can't do. And the best way to get that clarity, work with a finance advisor. I know that sounds like a generic advice, but having that someone run the actual numbers for your specific situation is worth more than any YouTube videos, including this one. Or if you want to do it yourself, use dedicated retirement planning software that shows you projections, scenarios, and real numbers. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Most people spend 30-40 years building wealth for retirement, and then they either retire too late or don't have the wealth to enjoy it. Or they retire without a plan and run out of confidence, even if they have the money. Your retirement saving money you will never spend, or waiting for a perfect certainty that will never come. Your health has a window, and that window is smaller than you think, and it doesn't stay open forever. Be thoughtful, be deliberate, and start having conversations now with your doctor, your spouse, your financial advisor. Because the goal isn't just to retire, the goal is to actually enjoy it. If this video gave you something to think about, hit the like button and subscribe. Every Monday and Wednesday, I break down US retirement topics in the simplest way possible so you can make better decisions for your future. I'll see you in the next one.